Yeah. I mean, you go into the season, you just try to do whatever you can to help the team win, right? The fall is for development, and that's kind of whenever you focus on yourself. And then once it comes to winning games, it's whatever you got to do to help the team win. So it came down to it, and they asked me to start throwing again. And, I didn't even think twice about it. Uh, Now, I didn't really think that I would be in the position that I was in at the end of the year, but, that's how it worked out. And then transitioning to this year, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, you just go in, show up every day, attack the day, show up at the beginning of the year, game one, and it's, whether you're throwing the first pitch of the year or you're not pitching at all that Friday night, like whatever you got to do to help us win games, what you got to do. So, it's the same mindset as last year. You're just attacking it and you're going out there to win every day, competing.
Obviously, playing the infield and hitting is still in the cards for you. But how much has it helped? Being able to like ramp up as a pitcher heading into this season.
Yeah, it's been really good. Coach Yeski and Coach Johnson have done a really good job with me this year on, giving my arm the time that it needs to build up and, just putting myself in the best position to, be the best me. So, it's been really good, the process of development and going through it the right way. And then now it's kind of slowing down and focusing on the pitching side and getting a little bit more rest, letting my body recover more. So, hopefully I can extend a little bit more, go through the lineup once or twice maybe, see where it goes, and then ultimately just showing up and competing.
Hey, Gavin. One of the performances that stick out to me is putting a bow on the Super Regional over Kentucky. What do you make, piggybacking off the first question, what do you make of your performance on the back half of the season, or the postseason, rather?
Yeah. I would say that it wasn't just me; it was really the whole staff. We really came together after the SEC tournament, and put a lot of the pieces of the puzzle together, and things just started to fit and right. And we kind of, I don't know if it would say like find our identity, but we just kind of figured a lot of things out late in the year, and it paid off. You'd rather have your best stuff at the end of the year than you would, middle of the year. Whenever games matter, we showed up, and ultimately that's why you do everything that you do throughout the year. Is whenever the games matter, you show up and you have your best stuff. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously came in here maybe with one vision of how you were going to contribute to this team and ended up being another. Just how comfortable are you with the fact that maybe your future is in pitching and maybe not with fielding and hitting? Just how's that kind of gone through your mind mentally throughout the last several months?
Yeah. It's different, right? I always grew up being a hitter first and then kind of a pitcher after that. And it was one of the things that I did growing up to help my team win. Not necessarily what I wanted to do in the future. But, God has a plan for everything, right? Like, you don't control the timing of things and how it works out. It's completely out of your control. So I would say just kind of trusting everything and just, having faith in him that, he's putting you in the right positions for things to work out, and you just control what you can control, showing up every day, attacking the day, attacking my routine, recovering, taking care of all the stuff that I can take care of and just kind of leave it in his hands.
Tell me about this year's staff. Just what are you seeing in them early?
Yeah, there's a lot to see. Top to bottom, there's guys that can go out. You have lefties, you have righties, you have, big spin guys, you have changeup guys, you have guys who can sink the ball, you have guys who can carry the ball, guys throwing 100, everything you could possibly imagine whenever you're building a pitching staff. But I'd say the really thing that it boils down to is just us going out there and executing pitches, right? Competing, knowing how to get guys out. And, throughout the fall, the younger guys, the guys that came back in, the guys that are out of the transfer portal really did that really well. I was super impressed with the freshman class, Cam Johnson and Cade Anderson and all of those guys on the mound to, really just go in there and compete and throw strikes and trust their stuff. So it's really big.
Gavin, Coach talked about, just knowing that he had the right guys in the building, both on the roster and in the staff. Obviously, Coach Yeski's been a big addition for you. What has your experience been like with him? And are there several examples maybe that you could share where you guys were able to get together and kind of maybe unlock something even more for your growth as a pitcher?
Yeah. Coach Yeski's amazing. He's the perfect balance between, the modern technology and being able to understand all that kind of stuff, but staying old school with mentality and, mindset and ultimately favoring, just being a competitor. He really favors getting guys out over like the analytics stuff, numbers don't lie. And when you go out there and you're going to do your job, throw strikes, get guys out, it doesn't really matter what the analytics say if it's working out. But I would say the one thing that he's really helped me with is starting to develop a lot of confidence in my fastball again. It's something that just kind of weathered away a little bit throughout the year last year just from not using it as much. But, him showing me that he has a ton of confidence in my fastball and that he's not going to just pigeonhole me to just throwing only breaking balls and that be the only way for me to get guys out. And so we've really worked really hard on that throughout the fall, and then coming into the spring inter squads, me pitching, throwing a ton of fastballs. Yesterday, I pitched yesterday through 2 innings and probably threw like 75, 80% fastballs. Just him kind of forcing me to go in there and locate the fastball and compete with that pitch. I think is going to be really big for me.
You mentioned Cade Anderson. What have you seen from him so far? And being in that position last year, like how have you maybe tried to help him in his transition to college baseball?
Yeah. I played with him on Team USA whenever he was going from his sophomore to junior year, and I was going from my junior to senior year. So he was playing a year up. And, he's always had electric stuff, right? I think Coach Johnson said this in a press conference or an interview or something a week ago or two. But if he wouldn't have got Tommy John, I don't know if he would have ended up here, right? Like, it was one of those things where it was a blessing in disguise, as far as for LSU fans. Because he's going to be an elite pitcher here for 2 or 3 years, however long he's here. He's going to pitch at a very high level here. He has a ton of confidence in his stuff, a ton of comfortability to just go in there, throw the ball over the plate, compete in the zone. And then he has 3 pitches he can throw for a strike whenever he wants him. So, it's pretty special.
What was it like as a true freshman to step in and be part of the experience from mid-February to late June and witness it all? And what did you learn walking away from it? You've always been described as a guy who's not wide-eyed about anything, but were there moments where like, whoa, I'm out here at the World Series or whatever?
Man, I would say, first off, it was an amazing opportunity that I didn't think that I was going to get going into the season, right? But I don't think that there was ever a time that I was kind of brought back or just kind of in awe. But, every time I went out there, I was grateful for the opportunity to go out there and compete. Not many freshmen get to pitch on the level that I got, and not many freshmen get that opportunity. And he trusted me to get the job done. So it didn't go unnoticed as far as the opportunity that I was getting. But I wouldn't say that I was, brought back or in awe really ever, but just extremely grateful and humble to get the opportunities.
I think you're like the last guy that we're going to talk to today, and like none of us have asked about the catchers, but they're both the team captains, right? Like, what do they mean to this team?
Yeah. They're almost part of the pitching staff, right? Like, those guys, they're around us every day. I'm around the catchers just as much as I am the other pitchers. But, Milazzo and Travinsky and Brady and those guys really what make us go, right? They provide a ton of confidence in us, seeing them work hard day in and day out. And, it's something that we can just really go out there and trust, right? We see them every single day in the cages, working on their receiving, working on their blocking, catching all of our bullpens, getting beat up for us. And, it's something that you can really get behind whenever you're out there competing and just trusting them. So, it's really important.
Obviously, your concentration has been more on pitching, but like how much, infield work and hitting have you been trying to mix in there a little bit, just so you stay fresh there at least?
Yeah, right now I'm just focusing on pitching, trying to let my body completely reset and get back to full 100%, get my legs all the way underneath me, try to put a little bit more weight on before the season starts, get a little more strength. And then, if ever something takes place where, I need to start hitting and taking ground balls or doing anything that I need to do to help us win, that's definitely still on the table. But as far as it right now, it's just pitching for me.
What can you tell us about the growth of guys who came in the same time at you but didn't get to pitch last year, as in DJ and Aiden? How have you kind of seen them grow as pitchers over the offseason?
Yeah. Well, DJ was from Louisiana, right? It's a guy that I got to compete against in high school a little bit, and then me and Moffitt played on the same summer ball team. So I mean, it's guys that I knew had the stuff to compete here and pitch here, and it's been really cool to watch them go from last year where, like you said, they didn't get many opportunities, and how I mean they're going to be guys that we go to often and out of the pen to help us get out of situations and out of jams, because their stuff is elite. Moffitt's running up to 100 miles an hour, has 2 elite off-speed pitches. DJ might have the best single pitch on the pitching staff with his slider. It's probably the best pitch on the team. And then his fastball is super hard to pick up. It has a lot of deception there. And then, both of those guys have just really gotten a mentality that they didn't have last year that could be really special for us this year as far as, being a driving force for our success for sure.
Is the hair just taller? If the roster says you're 6'2", 178, you're definitely heavier than last year, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I got up to like 185. So, yeah, last year I think it said it was 174. I got up to 185. I was trying to get to 190 before season, and then try to hold it throughout the year.
Is it difficult?
Yeah, putting weight on for me is very difficult. Some guys don't struggle with it, but I mean, it's something that I have to put a lot of focus on and a lot of attention to every single day. Making sure I'm hydrating well, sleeping well, getting 5 or 6 meals in every day to be able to put the weight on and hold the weight.
Thought it was interesting when you said you're trying to develop more confidence in the fastball and not just throw the breaking ball. Usually it's reversed like that for pitchers. Mm-hmm. What's that been like in terms of everybody usually just like, I can just throw a fastball and throw it hard. What's that process been like to develop the confidence back in the fastball?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of been pretty fun, right? Like, it wasn't something that I had to ever really work on when I was in high school, because obviously when you're in high school you throw a lot more fastballs. Had a good fastball for high school baseball, and a lot of guys just struggled hitting it. So the pitch that I used a lot more. So I had a ton of confidence in it. But I would say the first thing is you got to know what confidence comes from, and it's just complete trust in yourself, right? I would say confidence is mainly comes from preparing and seeing things work out, and then just understanding that you can do it. So I mean, that's why he's having me throw so many fastballs right now, to where he trusts in my fastball and he trusts my command and the shape of my fastball, and it's just a lot more of me completely filling it out and understanding what I need to do to compete with that pitch.